Good evening, everybody. Welcome along to the pre-match preview of Southampton's game. Tomorrow night it's St Mary's against West Bromwich Albion, the biggest game at St Mary's has seen for 13 years. And we are calling on the fan base to bring the noise. The club are calling on the fan base to bring the noise. We're super excited for tomorrow night's game. And I'm going to be joined by my guest, Rusty, very shortly. And we're going to be going over all things this semi-final. We'll also touch upon the Leeds game that takes place tonight. Leeds host Norwich in their second leg. So by the time we get to St Mary's tomorrow night at 6 o'clock, we will know who we face if we can get past Carlos Corberán's West Bromwich Albion, and it won't be an easy game. Right, let's welcome along Rusty to the show. Rusty, thank you very much for joining me. Let everybody know, where can they find you, mate?
Same place as always, guys. Head over on TikTok, Rusty SFC.
Make sure you go give him a follow. He's on TikTok like me. We're always creating great content over on TikTok. And tonight we're going to be here previewing what is, Rusty, as I said at the top of the show, probably the biggest game for Southampton Football Club at St Mary's for around 13 years. I was looking back at all my big moments, and obviously that Swansea away moment was massive for us as a football club when Gabby scored that winner down there to get us the points to keep us in the Premier League. But if you look back at games at St Mary's, this is as big as it gets since Coventry City when we got promoted last time round. How you feeling? You feeling nervous?
Excited, nervous, mate. I got to be honest. There are some nerves in there now. They're starting to creep in. The more I talk about the game and think about the game, they are starting to creep in a little. But as I put a video out today, I think we're in the best position we could possibly be in, and I think it's all in our hands at this point.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm excited. I'm ready. I'm ready
as well. We need to flip back now and go back to Sunday really and talk about that game on Sunday. Hawthorns, it was a hot day as well. Pitch played slow. All the players have spoke about it. The managers spoke about it as well. It wasn't an easy place to go and play. And I was pretty, I don't know about you, I was pretty chuffed to walk out of there without getting beaten, really. And if we have a quick look at the statistics from the game, you can see that it was fairly even, really. Southampton dominated the possession. Shots really pretty much the same. Southampton were just the one more on target. Both goalkeepers were worked and made two really good saves each. Well, certainly our goalkeeper made an incredible save when he made two. What were your thoughts on the performance?
Firstly, I'm so grateful for Alex McCarthy. I really am. I look at the same scenario and think, what would Lumley or Gavin Bazunu do? And I genuinely feel like Alex McCarthy was the right choice. I think Baz over the season may have struggled with the one that the save he made across the line, the way he's moved himself his footwork was superb. My thoughts on the game itself, though, was it was hard. You could see it looked real sticky on the pitch. It was a very different. The ball was hitting different when it hit the pitch. You could see it it was dying, and the players did look very, very leggy. And I think that was part of Carlos Corberán's tactics. I think that's how he wanted the game to play out. Yeah. But he won't get that same luxury at St Mary's. I think he threw all his eggs in one basket, and unfortunately came up just a hair short. That's my feelings on it, anyway.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. I think the Southampton game plan was executed quite well, really. I think, though it looked cagey, that Taylor Harbour-Bellis said to Sky Sports yesterday that it didn't mean to be that way. I'm 100% sure they went there to try and not concede and keep it tight. Obviously, I was a bit gutted when I saw the team sheet. I don't know about you. I stood outside the ground and the team sheet come in, and I saw that Shay Adams wasn't involved at all, and I saw Sekou starting up top, and I was like, oh boy, I was really, really, really worried at that stage because I thought it was a big ask of Mara, who's struggled a bit this season. Let's be honest, he struggled in his last two seasons, and we need to touch upon it really. I think he really struggled. I guess I know why he went for him, because he wanted a physical presence. He wanted as closest as he could to Shay Adams, and really and truly, he's all he's got really, other than a Ross Stewart who's maybe just not quite there. They're holding him back. But I think there maybe comes a point now, certainly tomorrow, if Shay isn't fit, that you're going to probably have to lean towards playing Ross Stewart tomorrow. What were your thoughts on Mara's performance? And also, if Shay isn't fit tomorrow, do you go with Stewart?
I think there is no more telling a sign about how poor a player's performance was when commentary teams and people watching were noticing how frustrated other players were becoming with Sekou Mara's performance. Adam Armstrong looked like he wanted to drag him off the pitch and give him politely a stern talking to. He really looked so frustrated with it. Was the Martin spoke about it for many weeks. The hard running, the hard leg work that is needed if we're going to get over the line and get to where we want to be. And Sekou Mara's not even doing the easy running, let alone the hard running. I don't really know what to make of it all, because we've all seen him play football. We've all seen him have good games and have good moments. So we all know that there's a player in there. It just, for whatever reason, I think maybe a little bit similar to Charlie, Russell Martin's just not figured out how to unlock them and get the most out of them. But as for if Shay's not fit, honestly, I think the simple thing to do is to just play Armour through the middle and bring in an extra body into midfield. It's probably not ideal, but it's probably the sensible thing to do. Stick with that back three with Manning and KWP as the wing backs, and maybe bring Brooks back in, or Ryan Fraser, just to play as that extra man and let Armour run through the middle.
Yeah, I think a few of the people were saying that on the Saints Spaces on X last night as well, about playing Armour through the middle and potentially bringing Fraser into the side. Russell Martin was questioned about Shay Adams in his press conference, which he had at 4:00 today. It was held at St Mary's. The players were training on the pitch this evening ahead of the game tomorrow. And when he asked about Adams, he said he's in a much better place and he is giving it everything he can to be ready for the game. Starting, we will see tomorrow, were his words on that. So he was quite cagey on whether he's 100% fit. I'm not convinced he is. I know Kean asked in the chat a minute ago, is he fit? I'm not 100% sure he is, but it might just be a risk that we might have to take.
I think he's got some fitness in him. Because otherwise I think we'd have got more of a stern. He probably won't feature tomorrow. But it sounds like he's going to be in the squad. I think we'd take a 70% fit, 80% fit Shay for 20 minutes at some point, wouldn't we? Over a fully fit Sekou Mara at this point.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. Be interesting to see how he sets up tomorrow. Somebody said in the chat just a second ago, and this is an interesting point that we need to touch upon. Come out from the start. 2 goals in the first half, and start all guns blazing. Well, West Brom did start all guns blazing against us at the weekend with a home advantage. The pitch will be wet, it will be cooler. I still think we have to be really, really careful about going gung-ho tomorrow night. I think he's got the players that he can play in the final third that would be more than enough to win us the game. I think we've got a couple of special players that are more than enough to get the job done tomorrow night. I think we do, in my opinion, be very, very careful about how many men we commit in the first 25, 30 minutes. Because if we go gung-ho and commit loads of players, we will get undone, because they will not play like they did the weekend, in my opinion. I think they have to have a go at us now. They had their big chance at the weekend. They got a lot of crosses in the box and didn't get any joy from it because they didn't have anyone up front that could get a head on it. I think they're set up slightly different. I still think we might set up a little bit different, but thoughts on going gung-ho tomorrow, Rusty? I don't think Russell will do that, and I don't think any of us fans would necessarily want to see us being wide open for the first 15, 20 minutes.
So my feelings are that I feel over 90 minutes we've got the advantage. I really do believe that. I think we can play through the phases we're much better equipped to play through the phases of the game than they are. I do feel that the three centre backs will stay just because they give us that little bit more stability in front of Alex McCarthy. And I just think over the course of 90 minutes, they'll unless they come out and get one early and we've got to chase the game, then it's very different. But I just feel over the course of the 90 minutes at home, if the noise is right, if the atmosphere is right, I think it makes for a really difficult game for West Brom, honestly.
Yeah, we talk about the noise. I know someone was in the chat a minute ago speaking about making it an Anfield type atmosphere tomorrow night, and I totally agree. I think that we all have to come out in force tomorrow. And give the boys everything we've got. Saint 194 is in the chat. Good evening, gents. Are you going to St Mary's at 6 p.m? Absolutely, I will be there. I will get there as soon as I can after work. I think it's important as many of us can. If you know, it's not for everyone. There's been a massive debate actually on social media. We probably should touch upon it actually because it's been a big talking point. Everybody's. A lot of fans getting slated for going down there because they want to create an atmosphere. I think it's each to your own. You support your club in your own way. I'm very much, I want to go down there. I want to cheer the boys on. I like to get to the ground early to soak up the atmosphere. I like to meet Rusty, his family, people I know, my friends, and talk about the games. And I think that's really important. I think it's important that we do get back the boys. To you, Rusty, it's something that you're backing, isn't it?
Well, I have a really sort of mixed view on it. Like I'm going, but there's also this. I also have this like sort of niggling away at me that are we sending the right message to the fans that we want attending football matches? You know how quick we are to berate fans when they behave in this manner, and then we're encouraging them to do exactly that.
Yeah.
It's kind of, I'm a bit conflicted with my thoughts on it, but I'm going. It's the right thing to do, I think, for the club, for the lads to get the I want them to come off that bus and see that it means way more to people than maybe at times us as Southampton fans show, because we are quite a reserved fan base, I would say.
Very much so.
So it's going to be strange for them to see 10,000 people, however many turn up.
It'd be interesting to see, wouldn't it?
Giving it large. Yeah,
it'd be
I think so.
To see how many people turn up. I also kind of feel that whilst it's all well and good making a good noise outside the ground, I think for anybody tuning in, there's a few tuning in, there'll be a few watching it on catch up. Get in the comments box below. Give us your thoughts on it. I think the atmosphere in the ground's more important than anything. Is that if the team will weather storms tomorrow night, they will have tough moments. We did on Saturday, but we have to back the players. And certainly if we go one goal down, we have to do everything we can to get behind them. We cannot get on their backs. They are programmed to play football a certain way. And look, there'll be risky moments at the back because there was on Sunday, and everyone was totally and utterly bricking it is the best word to put it. But we're going to just have to go with it. We've done it all season. It's not going to change. And if we go a goal behind, all I say is, and pray to everybody is, please, please, please get behind the players and don't turn on them. Give them everything you've got. If there's a bad pass played, don't hiss and boo. That's all I would say. Just get behind the players inside the ground.
They want their day out at Wembley as much as we want our day out. Trust me, believe me when I say that. This means as much to them as it means to us fans. I promise you. They may not always be able to translate that from a player's perspective to the fans, to actually portray it in a way that we can actually understand. But if you go back and look at a lot of games this season, and look at the way Taylor has at times begged us to pick them up when they at Blackburn was one of the biggest times I saw that, where he was almost begging people to be like, look, and no, I don't want to hear the boos and the jeers. I want people to help because we're struggling. Because I think we forget at times they're human beings, and the pressure gets to them too. I think we forget that.
And there will be a lot of pressure tomorrow night. Do you believe that our fan base can create an amazing atmosphere? Luke, if everyone comes together, I believe we can. Have I seen one at St Mary's? It's not the loudest ground I've been to in all the years I've been going to football. So it will have to go some tomorrow. Do I believe the fans can do it? Absolutely. What about you, Rusty?
I think so, mate. I think we've shown in recent weeks for sure that we can pick them up. We can get behind them. We can really make that effort. My only real concern is if it gets difficult, if we're like backs against the wall and we've got to dig in, do the fans still get behind them? I hope so. I think that we're going to be full tomorrow, and we're going to have a lot of people in there that are probably a little bit more. I don't want to say die hard. That's the wrong description. But I think we're going to have a lot more of the fans that we don't get on a week to week, because it's a slightly bigger game. So there should be more. There should be more of an atmosphere just off the back of that. Hopefully.
Yeah. No, I think you're right. Russell, I spoke about a short while ago. He did have his press conference today. It was at St Mary's. He said he feels excited, but he said he feels anxious, scared of what's to come. He said that's a natural feeling to have at the moment. And if I lose that, he said it's the time I should stop doing my job. He said if we said there were no nerves, he said it would be a lie. But what a game to be involved in. So Russell is certainly nervous. They spoke about him sleeping, he said, and will he sleep well tonight? He was asked by one journalist. He said, I haven't slept well in 10 months. There's a huge responsibility on us, but you have to embrace it and make that sacrifice that you make, and it's all worthwhile at the end of it. He said, this is one game where we can do that. He's correct in what he said, but he sounds like he's a little bit nervous for sure, like the rest of us. So he's just like one of us. He's as nervous as you and me, Rusty.
He's handled it well this season. Honestly, I think so. I did go through a wobble in the middle of the season where I was like, is he right? Is he going to be at? And I think I put a video out on TikTok. If playing this style of football, how will it translate into the Premier League? But do you know what? He's shown a resilience too especially in the last month or so, because it did get difficult. We wobbled right before the end of the season, and he's managed to keep all those lads heading in the right direction. And if you watch clips on Instagram of training videos and stuff like that, there still looks like there's a really good atmosphere and a really good camaraderie there that 12 months ago probably didn't exist.
Yeah, no, I agree. There's a connection between the fans and the players that wasn't there, and the manager certainly. This is a really good question, Kieran. What's both your predicted lineups for tomorrow night? I'll let my guest go first. I'll let Rusty go first and get his thoughts on how he thinks Russell will line up tomorrow, and then I'll go afterwards. What's your thoughts?
I honestly don't think he changes a lot. I think this system was found at Leeds. Maybe not found, but it was implemented at Leeds, and he's very happy. Feels that we can be aggressive and progressive up the pitch while still having extra defenders. So I don't see a lot of change. I don't think Mara. I think the fact that he wasn't even mentioned really in the press conference would suggest that nobody believes he's going to be playing again. But yeah. I think the only question mark is Shay or Stewart. It really is. Other than that, I think it'll be more of what we're used to from Russell Martin and Southampton.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I totally agree. Interesting one for anyone that's just tuning in. Southampton FC have just put a tweet out around half an hour ago. They said, don't miss out on our preview show ahead of tomorrow's game, exclusively available on the Southampton app. Download the app now. Tune in from 12:30 p.m. tomorrow. They've got a exclusive playoff preview show, which sounds quite exciting, Rusty.
I think the club have actually, I've got to be honest, quite surprised me, mate. They've really lent into it. Really trying to show that maybe we're a bit more multifaceted than maybe people presume we are. Southampton are quite historically kind of like we'll see what happens kind of football team, you know. And so in terms of the social side of things as well, they've never really dove too hard into it. If you look at our sort of followings on social medias compared to other clubs of similar sizes, we barely have a footprint. So it's good that they're really leaning into it and really trying to maximise viewerships, because this is massive. This game is bigger than we really believe, and you won't know watching it until we start getting into the depths, 80-90 minutes, and it's like 1-0 and it's back against the wall, and you'll see it from all the players, all the staff. It'll really start to echo, and you'll believe it then.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I'm buzzing for it. I'm so excited. I don't think I'll sleep particularly well tonight ahead of this one. Few rumours. I just pull up a couple more bits of the chat. Well, it's not a rumour, this one. Brooks is going back to Bournemouth. It's been confirmed by Bournemouth. I did see that today. Terrible timing yet again by an agent or a club to come out and talk about players on a week of the biggest game of the season. I saw that from Brooks's camp today.
I think the saving grace there with David Brooks is he's already come out to say that he backs this promotion push as part of his personal legacy in terms of football. So he's committed to what's happening, whether or not he's going back, I believe.
Yeah. No, absolutely. There are other transfer stories that have come out this week. Another one around Adams. Doesn't seem to go away. It's rumbled for about 12 months. It's boring as hell now. The story around him going to Wolves. I think there was talk last summer. Well, I didn't think there was tons of talk last summer. His agent's busy, and then he comes and leaks it out again this week about Adams in talks with Wolves. I just think the timing of some of these stories to come out is more than annoying. I tweeted it a couple of days ago. I just didn't think it needed to come out this week about Adams. We all know that he's off, but just leave it alone till the season's over and done with. I don't know if anyone agrees with me in the chat on that one. And then there was a bit of talk yesterday, Rusty, that our goalkeeper that performed really, really well at the weekend, he's linked with a move to Celtic or Liverpool. We're definitely going to need a goalkeeper, you would say, in the summer. Adam Blackmore said on the Spaces last night he felt that Alex McCarthy, if we went back to the Premier League, would be more than good enough to play in the Premier League. Get in the comments box below, guys. Give me your thoughts on that, or get Rusty's thoughts.
I do think Alex McCarthy, for whatever reason, fell out of favour with Russell Martin and his predecessors. Someone somewhere said Gavin Bazunu was the one, and everyone had to buy into it. That's not a slate on Gavin Bazunu. I think he's done a great job. But there's a part of me that always can't help but think that Alex McCarthy's spent all year just sat watching everyone else play football.
Yeah. And
with that level of experience and that head, when he's asked to come and make something happen, he carries us into the playoffs and really, I mean, everyone saw those saves. They're not accidents. You don't do that by accident. He's a very, very capable goalkeeper, always has been.
Yeah. No, I think he is. I'm glad he's made the choice. I didn't talk about my team lineup for tomorrow night, but I'm glad he's made the choice to use Alex for this time being. I think he could prove pivotal if it goes to penalties tomorrow, because he saved 2 in the pen shootout last year. Somebody said, "Oh, he'd be no good in penalties." I was like, it'd be better for penalties than probably Bazunu if he goes to penalties.
Has anyone ever met or seen Alex McCarthy? And he's a huge, rangy human being. Like his huge arms look like they're 2 arms on each arm.
Yeah. Regards that lineup, I didn't say about my lineup. I'm with you with lineup wise, really. If Shay's fit, I'd bring Shay straight back in for Mara, and I'd probably keep it the same. And I'd use your weapons off the bench, use Fraser off the bench. I still wouldn't be surprised to see Brooks come into the side tomorrow night. I just wouldn't be surprised. And he went back with a 4-3-3. But I just think he'd probably it'd work at what's been tried and tested, and he'd try and get a goal. I think if we concede it, it maybe look a little bit different. But that's my.
The reason why I think the 3 centre backs stay is because Taylor's looked a little freer. He's looked less pinned down, less shackled, and been able to escape the back 4, 5, and play a little bit more football. And they seem to take it in turns too. That I've seen Stevens Jack got pretty high. Bednarek looks again unshackled and unfazed by what's happening around him. I just think it gives us so much more stability than the 4-3-3.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you. I think it makes sense to not make too many drastic changes tomorrow night, don't you? We just need to be careful about what we do. Right, there's loads of people in the chat talking about lineups. Ryan, my starting lineup tomorrow. Maka, KWP, Harwood Bellis, Yanni B, Stevens, Aribo, Smallbone, Downs, Manning, Stewart, Armour. Yeah, I don't think it'd be far away from that, Ryan. Gut feeling, I think it'd be close to that. Just not sure his start, Stewart.
We just don't know how fit he is, do we? That's the... No. He looks sharp. Every time he's come on, he's looked sharp. But is that 20 minutes at the end of a game sharp, or is that 90 minutes from the start sharp? We just don't know. It's probably too much of a risk.
You can ask a question as long as it's not rude. It's fine. I quite like coming on YouTube doing these shows because you've got a steady audience of people that are not constantly spamming you and talking nonsense in the chat. It's quite a nice place to do a live event. Actually, I'm quite enjoying doing these. It's really, really nice. You go on TikTok, it's great, but it just ends up filled with fans from Portsmouth, and you just end up with all sorts of nonsense being said.
It's quite full on TikTok, isn't it? It's like 100 miles an hour all the time.
Yeah, this is nice and steady. There's a good comment here. We're talking about transfers, players potentially going out. Would you have Adam Lallana back at all? In my opinion, I was told a couple of weeks ago. Actually, I was told 2 months ago that he was very, very keen to come back. Whether that happens or not, I don't think it will do personally. I think we're not usually a club that goes backwards. I think we'll be looking to the future and players for the future, unless they're going to bring him in as a coach in some capacity. I think his son's in the under-18s or in the academy at some age group. I don't know what age group, but
it would. Yeah, for me, it would be about the role. It would be about the role for me. Like how can you? He certainly can't come in as a starter. It just can't. It kind of goes against the philosophy of Southampton Football Club, I suppose. But if you want him to be an elder statesman around the club and he'll play, he'll get minutes, and you want him to just support other players, because I mean he's a wealth of experience. He's been there and done just about everything. So you would certainly want him around for that, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think he's somebody that loves the football club, lives down this neck of the woods as well. Yeah. I think his Premier League days are probably done and dusted now. So we're getting to that stage of the show now where we need to start thinking about score prediction. So if you're in the comments box, we want to start getting your thoughts on the score prediction for tomorrow night. Get involved. Give us your thoughts. Does it go to penalties? Yes or no? Ryan Scott said, what time are the players coming in tomorrow? Well, I spoke to the club, Ryan, at the start of the week, 15 minutes past 6. So they want fans there. I'm going to get down there about 5:15, an hour before. If you're a fan and you want to come onto my YouTube channel, my TikTok channel, I'm going to create some content down there. May even do a TikTok live outside St Mary's for a short period of time. So if you want to come on, drop us a DM. So yeah, we need to think about score predictions. Chloe's first in with hers. She's gone 2-0 Southampton, Downs and Ross Stewart. Rusty, what's your score prediction?
I think this might be the first time I might just not give one.
Yeah, I feel like that. You just don't know how it's going to go. You just have no idea how it's going to unravel.
Look, football's a crazy thing, and it doesn't matter how anybody sets up. It could be, we've seen goalies score from their own goal, and the things that happen in football. So we can't plan. We can only hope and dream. But listen, I've said it already today. I think over 90 minutes, we have more about us. I think Carlos Corberán threw all of his eggs, and I've said this, all of his eggs went in that first leg basket, and he was hoping to come out of it with at least a goal. I believe that. I don't think he has many more gears to go through. I know he's a tactical genius, but I actually think that was his Hail Mary last week. And I think over 90 minutes, we've got enough to get the job done. Will it be a tight, cagey 1-0? Maybe. But I believe it also has the potential to go and be a 2-0, 3-0 cut, just to go through the gears kind of game. But it's going to depend. If we go down 1-0 early and we're up against it, we've got to see a different side of Southampton Football Club. So I'm hoping to get an early goal, settle everyone down, and then just go through the motions. That would be the best of all the worlds possible.
Yeah, I think the one thing is we don't want to concede the first goal tomorrow night. That's my gut feeling. Try and keep it tight. I still think that the two centre backs for West Brom were really good at the weekend. I thought Bartley was really solid. He's really hot, like he's such a physical centre back as well. I thought they were really solid at the back against us. They've got a few danger men in their side as well. So I think it's going to be tough to break them down. I don't think there's going to be tons of goals in it. I just can't see it. Kit Pray was the other centre back that's quite good. Furlong got man of the match the weekend. The right back, he did give Manning a few problems. Him and Fellows doubled up on Manning. So I still think that, like you said, Stevens and Manning were both play because they double up on him. The boy Johnson's got to be watched. He sort of played on the left side of midfield. He was really good the weekend. They've got good players, but I think they put a hell of a lot into that game at the weekend, and I just wonder if they just burnt themselves out a little bit because they put a hell of a lot into it. And
it was a big shift.
It was a big shift. So with that in mind, I'm going to go 2-1 Saints. I think we will concede. Matchday Vlogs is in. Mike's in. Thanks for joining. He's gone with 2-0. Armour and Stewart.
Seems positive. It seems like popular choices. Adam Armstrong and Stewart.
Yeah, I thought Armour struggled the weekend. I thought he got a cut on his face that looked really, really nasty. But the one thing I say about Armour is that when he's marked heavily and when he gets people really close to him, he's always the sort of player that needs a couple of touches to kind of get himself away.
Yeah.
They didn't give him any time on the ball the weekend at all, Armour. Not convinced Armour scores, but I may be proved wrong. I'm going to go with Shay to score and Stewart to score tomorrow. That's my goal scorers. Thomas Asante for West Bromwich Albion. He's still a danger man, Thomas Asante.
I think if we're to beat them without Shay, I think our forward line needs to be a bit deeper, because I think we beat them over the top. We beat them with pace. Their back four isn't the most mobile, isn't the quickest. And I think if we play if we've got Armour and Fraser, maybe Brooks possibly playing, their ability to run in behind could potentially be what undoes West Brom.
Yeah, no, I think you could possibly well be right there. Well, it's West Brom. They've touched down in Southampton. They're staying at the Rose Bowl this evening. They're in the hotel there. Loads of Southampton fans putting that all over X at the moment. And they've also just shown a video of Leeds United arriving for their game this season. They take on Norwich at Ellen Road. Very muted there. Not a great deal of fans. That's quite quiet. A lot of our fans saying, surely we can do better tomorrow. But we should talk about the game more than anything. Leeds, a big game for them tonight. How do you see that one unfolding? Do you think they get it over the line, home advantage and everything? Or do you just think their fans are a little bit restless right now, aren't they?
I've never seen a Leeds fan base. I was scrolling TikTok today, and you hear them all saying, "We've got enough. We've got enough." But I ain't convinced by any of it, boys. I hear you. I hear those nerves behind that voice. You're not fooling me, and I'm sure you're not fooling anybody else. And I bet you those players feel that strain exactly as much as you do. That pressure. We think the pressure is big for Russell Martin and Southampton. Leeds fans, club owners, everyone believes they're a Premier League team, and they should never have been down here in the first place. I think Norwich are going to make life really hard for them.
Yeah.
I'm not sure on a result. I think this one's more likely to go to penalties, and then just who knows? Penalties are a lottery.
Yeah, they are a lottery. I'm going to be watching it very, very, very intense in a minute. I'm going to head off and watch that, but I'm looking forward.
I've heard Leeds fans say today that they hope that Rutter's not playing. Their team of the season forward, so I hope someone that he's not. And you're like, that's mad. I just don't understand that. That shows me the level of fear and nerves there is around that club.
Yeah, no, there is a lot of fear for them. A lot of pressure if they went one down tonight. They'd be under huge pressure at Ellen Road. Final question before we wrap things up this evening. Everybody get involved in the comments box below. It was a video that I created when I was at West Brom at the weekend. I asked fans if we could get past West Bromwich Albion tomorrow night at St Mary's, who would you rather play in the final? Would it be Leeds or would it be Norwich? I thought long and hard about this, and I was very much I thought probably Leeds. But then more I thought about it as the week's gone, I'm almost thinking, do you know what? To beat Leeds 3 times in one season would be a massive task. Norwich we haven't beaten yet. Do you know what? I'd probably rather play Norwich. I don't know about you.
This is probably going to sound a bit. We'd beat Leeds. I believe that in my heart. We'd beat Leeds, but I think Norwich would be a better game. I think would suit us from a footballing perspective better.
Yeah.
So I suppose what I'm saying is I probably don't mind. I think if you're going to do it, you got to do it the hard way, regardless. But Chloe's absolutely right. Wembley versus Leeds with that fan base would be mad. You'd all love it. You'd all love it. But then again, Norwich travel well. They were a good bunch when they came down. I think if it's Leeds, it'll be cagey. And I just think Norwich will believe they'll be able to get something, so they'll make a proper go of it. But I don't know. Let's just get there. Yeah, please, guys. Let's just get there.
Let's get there tomorrow night. Let's get it over the line. Rusty, thank you very much for joining me tonight.
My pleasure.
Before you go, just let everybody know where you are. You're a TikToker. What's your handle, mate?
I'm trying to be a TikToker, yeah, for sure.
You are a TikToker, you are.
It's at Rusty SFC. You can't miss me. It's a picture of me I believe the picture's at Ashton Gate. So yeah, you'll see me.
Brilliant. Right, make sure you go and give Rusty a follow over on TikTok. And yeah, he's well worth a follow. Does some great content, mate. Thank you for joining me tonight. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Man. Thank you.
That brings me to the end of the show, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Thank you very much for joining me this Thursday evening. Tomorrow is Friday, the 17th of May, and Southampton Football Club will have their biggest game in probably 13 years at St Mary's. We need every single one of us to come together and get behind the lads. If that's not outside before the game, but certainly when you're in the stadium, back the lads. And if it gets tough, get behind them, because we can be the 12th man tomorrow night, the 12th man, and see our side over the line. And you never know, if we do and things go our way tomorrow night, we could just well be off to Wembley in a week's time, and we'll be producing another show. Good night, everybody, and take care.